Well, sure, I went and had my picture took. Yep, I didn't want it done, but Nancy wanted it. She said she wanted my picture to hang up with the pictures of her first three husbands. You see, Nancy was married before, and when her husbands died, she cremated them. Some women can't get married at all, but Nancy had husbands to burn. Well, I told Nancy I want to go to have my picture hung up in any rogues gallery. Well, she commenced to crying about it. She said Ezra Hoskins had his token, that Jim Lawson had his token, that Deacon Witherspoon had his, and in order to keep peace in the family, I told her I'd have mine took. While I was down to New York, I thought it'd be a good time to have it done. I had my store clothes on, my boots polished, and my hair cut, and I looked pretty scrumptious for an old feller. Well, I went up to one of them picture galleries. A gal showed me into a setting room. She said picture man was a little busy and he'd be out in a little bit. And while I was waiting, I could look at the photographs. And gosh, there was a lot of them. Some of them had wedding clothes on, some of them had uniforms on, and some of them didn't have much anything on. I guess they was actor gals. She showed me a picture of one young lady. She said was Miss Vander Rocker built in her coming out gown. Gosh, it was real handy. All she'd had to do was been sneeze and she'd have been out. Well, that picture fella come out and asked me how I'd like to have my picture taken in a group, standing up full length or on a bust. And I told him I didn't go on a bust very often, but when I did, I went full length. Well, he took me into the other room and sat me down in a chair, and I asked him how I thought I'd look good in the picture. He said he thought I'd take a good picture standing behind a tree. Well, he twisted a little pitchfork in the back of my head and another in the small of my back, and he shoved my spinal column clear up into my wishbone, and then he twisted my head around sideways till my collar was cutting my throat, and he put my right boot over on my left boot where I had a sore corn and told me to look pleasant. Then he wheeled up that picture machine, and I guess he was a little ashamed of himself because he hid his head under a rag while he was doing it. Just then a fly got on the end of my nose and the darn thing wouldn't get off. And I winked one eye and then I winked the other, and I blowed at him and I whistled at him and I wobbled my ears like a mule, and just then that feller pulled that trigger. He said it'd be all right and he'd send me my photographs by mail. Well, when they come, gosh, I was a sight. One ear was on top of my head, the other was hanging on my chin. That fly looked like a mud turtle crawling all over my face. Now, when Nancy gets the album out, she says, "This is Ezra Hoskins, this is Ezra's first wife, this is Deacon Witherspoon, this is Cy Pettingill, and this is Jim Lawson, and that's the picture Joshua had taken while he was down to New York. It's plain to be seen he was drinking." Gosh, that feller had me on a bus, sure enough.